Today, I will be talking about the political economy of digital music and streaming. So, the current belief in media studies is that streaming has shifted revenue. You no longer own songs, and they're all distributed by the same major three labels: Universal Music Group, Sony Music, and Warner Music. Um, it is essentially stating that the political economy is heavily owned by these major corporations, and that gone are the days of the peak of music sales and all of that, where it was reaching its heights, and now that the internet's come along, it has stifled internet music's profitability. However, I believe this is truly false, and it's an outdated way of viewing something that is still relatively new. I think what needs to be understood when taking into consideration digital music and streaming is the way that music used to be distributed, which was the main ways to promote your music and have your music heard were through uh, being on television, being on radio, being on stage performing. Those were the main ways, words of mouth, everything like that. But with the age of the internet, you can move so many different ways. You can be your own person. It is truly up to you who and what you become. This breeds creativity because people are no longer afraid to stand out as they may have used to, because labels wouldn't pick them up and wouldn't accept their music because they were different, and it's hard to back something that is that different. Whereas nowadays creativity is bred from that because someone wants to stand out so much they will do that. And I believe that's so important to understand, along with the fact that there is discussion of digital music streaming sites such as Spotify and Apple Music, SoundCloud, YouTube Music, even underpaying artists. And this is the issue with having your music becoming digital music and streamed nowadays, is the actual value of your music. Spotify famously has been accused of underpaying artists heavily for massive amounts of streams. Um, Whereas I believe this is an issue. However, the way that they can generate this amount of following nowadays enables Spotify to hold them in that lock, because maybe more so, the key ways to have music now may be more narrow than it used to. To actually own music, you don't own music with Spotify. You don't own music with Apple Music or all these things. You are renting the music. So whereas with a CD, you owned it, you do whatever you want with it. Not whatever you want. Obviously, copyright plays a factor in all of this. You you have to listen through these streaming apps because it's all on your phone. You can't do much about that. And the only thing to pass around that would be YouTube and SoundCloud, where it's free to take it and then immediately slap it onto a converter and download it for yourself, which is illegal. However, it is something that both harms and assists the music industry, as it gives a public and free major promotion to songs, which may ultimately earn them far more money than if they did not exist, because people will download this and eventually explore it so much that they will feel as though they need to pay for digital versions as well as physical versions, which are still so popular. It ultimately breeds creativity on ways to have your music, and it's an interesting phenomenon where it's so much more broad, yet also so much more narrow than it ever used to be. And that begs the question, which I don't think is truly able to be answered right now, as it's not fully happened. Is digital music and streaming truly positive for the political economy? And I don't think we can fully answer that until this has passed.